Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I don't know why that's funny. It seems odd to kick it off with a laugh right away. Well, I wasn't ready. I'm never ready. That's the thing. She says to me, she's like, "Oh man, are you ready?" I go, "I'm never ready. I just start." I mean, I don't come here ready with a fucking script in my goddamn hand. I'm not Orson Welles from the goddamn Mercury Theater. Although I wish I were. God damn, I love Orson Welles. Anything. And if Orson Welles is on the radio, or he's on the radio. He's often on the radio. I don't know if you've ever flipped on your FM stations and gone, "Oh my God, what's after Styx coming up?" Orson Welles. Hey, that popped the mic. You know what? When this started. You think so? She thinks my ears are all fucked up because again, I got fucking Twix bars in there and it's awful. I got to clean them out. But I couldn't hear myself and I said, "Oh man, I sound like I'm underwater." And so she sat here and pretended like she was going to do something. That's my producer, by the way, Lily Von Stupp. When I say she sat here, this is a homeless woman who sauntered by as I talk into a tin can. But she's always like, "Hey, you should get ready to go," and I'm never ready to go. I just start. But I love Orson Welles. Why did I even bring that up? Hey, folks, here's a question for you. Let me ask you this. This will give you an idea of where we're at in the kitchen before I start the show. How many midgets out there are willing to work for $20 an hour? Was it $20 an hour? I don't know. $20 a night. I don't know. It was such a weird question. Lily and I were talking about there's a bar in town. And they're opening like a big nightclub, and then they're hiring people. And I saw an ad in the LA Weekly, and they were trying to get entertainers. And I was all right. This is gonna be a weird coincidence. There's midgets who walk their dog on my street. Not like a pack of them, there's like a family of midgets, like two of them, and then they have. And why did look midgets? I got a question for you, midgets. If you're listening, I don't know if you're listening. Can you reach the dials? Why do you have big dogs? Why? What is your point? Are you hoping that at some point you can ride them? I don't understand why midgets have big dogs. Have a tiny dog. You're tiny. Get a tiny little teacup dog and put it in a thing. Because if you get a tiny little teacup poodle and you're walking it around midget style, it looks like a normal dog to you. It's still fucking knee high. It's a teacup poodle. You're a teacup dude. Honestly. But these midgets by our house, man, they got fucking... Did I tell this story? I think I told the obnoxious midget story. If I didn't, I'm going to tell it again, and I apologize right now. But these midgets, Karen knows them. Like, here's the thing. I see midgets, okay? And they're walking around by my house, and I'm like, oh, my God, look at those midgets. There's not so much disdain in my voice. I'm just always like, wow, midgets. All right, I guess there. I'm taken aback. But now I'm used to seeing them. Okay? So, but one time we're driving, and then they're out walking the dog, and Karen's like, "Oh, there's Robert." What? And she's like, "Yeah, I talk to him when I see him outside." And in my head, I wanted to go, that's not cool. I mean, you think you're being friendly, but he knows you're only talking to him because you're a goddamn midget, or he's a midget, not because you're a midget. My wife's not a midget. I wish she was a midget. Oh my God, her hands make my cock look huge. But yeah, no, she's just a normal-sized person with normal nice hands and makes my cock look normal. All right, so. But these midgets wander by, and they're actors. They're in acting. And Karen was talking to them, and it turned out that there's this bar in Hollywood, and they're hiring midget talent, but they're not offering a lot of money. And so I was telling Lily about it, and she's like, and she's genuine straight face, "How many midgets are willing to work for $20 plus tips?" And I think that's a question that we all need to pose. Anytime you see a midget, folks, walk up to them and just go, because here's the thing, they're getting them to do midget things. It's not like this midget gets to wear a tuxedo and be Peter Dinklage and be all fucking cool. No, this goddamn midget has to dress up in an Oompa Loompa outfit and fly around on a goddamn zip line and bring people wine. Are you shitting me? Is that a good plan? Is that somewhere you want to be? It's a bar in Hollywood, and David Arquette runs it, and some other guy. And that's always the way it is. Some other guy convinces David Arquette to put up the money for a ridiculous fake circus bar. And David Arquette goes, "Oh, well, I'm at a fragile time. My wife just bailed on me. Here's all the money you need. But make sure you're bringing the midgets under a $20 bottom line." Jesus Christ. So yeah, so it's this crazy bar, and they're trying to make it a destination in Hollywood. They're like, "Hey man, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get all this crazy bottle service, and gonna be rich people are gonna be hanging out." No, rich people are not gonna be hanging out. But that's a true plan. They want midgets to dress like Oompa Loompas, and if you pay a certain amount, there's an Oompa Loompa fairy who flies over on a zip line and brings you liquor. I'm not even kidding. That's a real goddamn thing. Look, I don't give a fuck. If I'm a millionaire, that doesn't impress me. It just doesn't. Hot naked chick flying over, that's fine. I mean, how many douchebag frat boys have $100 million to come in and see that? That's who that's entertaining to. That's who that's funny to. Anybody who's fucking rich looks like the guy from the Dos Equis commercial, and they're not interested in a flying midget on a zip line. That's the kind of shit me and my friends would think was funny over beer. That isn't fucking bottle service entertainment. Bottle service entertainment is like hot chicks with crotchless pants who come over and give you a reach around. That's bottle service fucking entertainment. I'm serious. Hot chicks with their vaginas hanging out who want to see your cocks. Boom. Now you got a bottle service. Now we're in. Even if and girls, you know what? You know what would be this is what bottle service money should bring you. This is the kind of you should have hot girls who have ice dildos in their vaginas it's frozen vodka, and then that's where you get the drink from. As it melts, you hold a glass between their legs and you get that frozen vodka liquid that comes out of their pussy. That's what you should get. If you're paying $400 a goddamn table for bottle service. You should make an ice bottle and put it in a girl's vagina, and then it should melt and drip out. There you go. That's the move. Hey, I just thought of that. That's a pretty good idea. You know what? I take it back. That's also something my friends and I would have on over beer. I don't need any sort of, that's not bottle service entertainment. That's just normal, good old-fashioned entertainment at your house. And I don't need a fucking midget in a diaper to make it happen. Hi, folks. How are you? It is the 40-year-old boy. I said that, right? I covered all that. I covered the beginning. We know where we're at. Everybody knows where we're at. I'm a little hinky right now, folks. It's pouring rain outside. I don't enjoy it. It's been pouring rain for days here. Our tsunami comes from the sky, folks. And it comes over 4 days. And it's certainly not like a tsunami. Let me go ahead and take that back. But it doesn't matter because I see the people here paralyzed by rain from the sky, and I can't even imagine what would happen if the ocean came in to say hello. And I can't stop watching clips of that either. Oh my God, folks! Did you read about the guy who saved his family when he put on scuba gear? What the fuck? How did they even find that story? That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm watching the clips from Japan, and they have like the guy walking around. And did you see the two dogs that were protecting one another? And then it turned out, and this became a thing on CNN, and they made it a big deal. And they were like, "Oh man," and people were like, "Oh, I hope those dogs are safe." Yeah, me too. It's not like they're not going to get a lot of exercise. They've certainly got plenty of place to run around. Seeing as the city is gone. You guys remember that by any chance? I understand it's really terrible that Milo and Otis haven't had a bone in 2 days, but take a look around. The entire subdivision has been washed away, allowing them a huge yard to romp in. I can't talk about that this week. I can't. I got too many letters from Japan last week. I didn't. I got no letters from Japan. Because their mail's not working. That's why. That's exactly what it was. I'm sure they're stacking up at the dead letter office there in Japan. As soon as they get the why would they deliver it to me, hand deliver it to me? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Japan? Yes, I often get a lot of handwritten letters from Japan in cuneiform there, which might be Chinese. I have no fucking idea, but who cares? It's in characters, folks. And only in 140 characters. I get Twitter mail from Japan. Wow, crazy snort. That's weird. By the way, let's talk about a real tragedy, folks. Let's clear something up. Last week, I mentioned that I had done a television show for HBO, which we've all remembered, and I'm sure set our TiVos for. You immediately said, again, I'm gone now. Did I pop my ear of the microphone? I don't know, something's up. Could be my ears. Should I try to? I'm trying to pop my ears here with you guys. Quick, somebody scream something loud. Debbie Webb, you out there, you scream something loud. I'll hear it. No, that's not you. I said Debbie Webb. It's Debbie Webb's birthday. I don't know if you know that. I don't know. She's a listener. She's a friend. I don't even know if she's a listener. I know her husband, Mike Webb, is a listener. And he's like, "Can I sponsor a show for my wife's birthday?" And I said, "Sure, you cheap cocksucker. You absolutely can." Why do you get out of buying her a real gift? The fuck is your problem? Really? That's going to be a good gift for you if I say, "Hey, Debbie Webb, happy birthday"? Jesus Christ. Even Chuck E. Cheese has a band. Now you got just me talking in circles about your goddamn wife? How ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, who cares? It's still a band. It's still music. There's still fanfare. But instead, he's like, "Oh my God, I really love your show. You talk about my wife on her birthday? Well, what does that get her at all?" But it's Debbie Webb's 44th birthday, everybody. Good for her, right? That's all exciting. Oh, I said good for you. Damn it, punch me. That's your fault, Debbie Webb. Actually, it's not her birthday. Her birthday is April 3rd. It's coming up. He wrote me. He's like, yeah, I wanted to sponsor a show right around that. I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be a year 4 to the podcast, so you might want to get in under the wire while the getting's good. There's probably not going to be a show the week of her birthday. And he's like, all right, I'm in. And then he's a big fan of his wife, and apparently he really puts her on a pedestal if he has a fucking rinky-dink podcast say happy birthday to her. I don't get it. Again, at least at the Olive Garden they would sing it. You know what? Actually, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's Debbie Webb's big day. Hey, all right. Hey, and I did my ears. That popped my ears. Yeah. Good for you, Debbie Webb. That's what you brought me for my birthday. You popped my goddamn ears. Exciting. All right. It's always a weird thing when a guy writes me and he wants me to talk about like his wife, and I'm like, all right, dude, you know what I do. I mean, do you want me to mention Debbie getting snake raped for her birthday? How do you want me to do this? And he's just like, oh, and it went away again. It's not me. It's the microphone. It's not my ears. I'm telling you.
It's not the microphone. It's
it is.
The headset.
All right, it's the headset. Yeah, that's what. Here, oh, wait, hold on. Did I hit it? I'm hitting that. Oh, what am I, Rocky? Here, just do me here. Slap the shit out of me. All right? That's a good idea. Ow, that hurt. Folks, I'm like boxing my ears, but without the boxing capability because there's headphones on it. It's as if I were wearing headgear in the gym. That's what it is. But this isn't hurting this, right? It's not hurting that. Folks, this show is petering out, right? There's no reason to do a year 4. Year 3, the headset doesn't work anymore. You people, I'm wishing happy birthday to people like I'm bringing them fucking cheese sticks. This is horrendous. It's fucking how the mighty have fallen. And we're still sponsored by tweakedaudio.com/40. Don't kid yourselves. They are still on board with this. What I think, personally, is Mike Webb should be buying headsets from tweakedaudio.com/40 for Debbie Webb, right? For her birthday. Shouldn't he be doing that? Rather than having me talk about it and say, hey, happy birthday? Well, he's still got a week. He got some time, Mike Webb. Although, let's see, by April 3rd, once she hears this, the divorce papers probably won't arrive for 2 weeks. So you have plenty of time to save face by going ahead and purchasing some headsets, some earbuds from tweakedaudio.com/40 with our friend Bruce, who I've been exchanging emails with. Yeah, because I talked about how other podcasts were involved, and I think he felt that he needed to let me know that wasn't a slight of some sort. And not that I thought it was a slight. I just want to be the only guy. That's all. I just want to be the only person who gets to do advertising or commercials. That's what I tell. That's the first thing I tell advertisers when they sponsor me. Like Mike Webb, he called me. He's like, "Hey, can I sponsor a show for Debbie Webb?" I said, "No other fucking shows. I have an exclusive on Debbie Webb. You hear me? I got a goddamn exclusive on Debbie Webb. Otherwise, you can fuck right off." So that's with tweakedaudio.com. And they're like, "No, absolutely, you're the only one," because they know that I'm so narcissistic. I would only listen to my own show and I wouldn't hear any other fucking podcasts. Until people started writing me and they're like, dude, did you know that this happens? And then I heard, Mark Maron, and I heard David Feldman, and I heard, all these other. But again, as I've mentioned, folks, it's all part of a collective. If you buy headphones from tweakedaudio.com/40, we all get a piece. So you're supporting every single show. As soon as you buy headsets from tweakedaudio.com/40, earbuds, I should say. I shouldn't call them headsets. They're earbuds. You want earbuds, folks. That's where the deal is. You want to get earbuds from tweakedaudio.com/40, and then all of us get a piece. Every single podcaster gets a piece. You know who gets some? Keith. You know who doesn't? The girl. Fuck you, the girl. I don't know who you are. I don't know. Your name's not even in the title, goddammit. Keith, he's in. He's got his name up there. The girl? Sorry, I don't think so. Adi fucking os. Why am I mad at the girl? I don't know who that is. All right. But I'm sure they're fantastic people. You know who else gets some money? But you know who doesn't? Yeah, dude. Not out. Gets money? Yeah, dude. Right out the fucking window. Take that. You know who else gets it? 5. You know who doesn't? Hundy in Vegas. I don't know who that is. Actually, it's a guy who has a podcast about Vegas. Here, this made me laugh. This guy wrote me. He donated to the show, so I go in order, so I'll get to him later. But it's 5 Hundy after midnight or something like that. I don't know. So I wrote him and I said, I hope you're either a pimp or a robot, because it said literally the donation was from 5 Hundy after midnight. I'm like, that's awesome. And he wrote me, he's like, no, Mike, I'm a podcaster. I got a podcast about Vegas, man, about nightlife in Vegas, 500 after midnight. So I look forward to seeing you when you're here in Minnesota. Wait a minute. Are you lying to your listeners, you jagoff? With your show based in Minnesota as you talk about fucking Vegas? Oh, yeah, fantastic lights on the strip, yeah. I don't know why I'm a Norwegian asshole. That's weird. See, Debbie Webb, this is what you get for your birthday. Don't even look under the tree in the morning. There's no birthday gift for you there. Is there a birthday tree? There's no birthday tree. Only for who? Jesus. Jesus is the only one. His birthday gets a tree. You know what? Fuck that. We should all have birthday trees. You know who is on board with that? The fucking tree people. Yeah, done. Birthday tree. I like it because, and again, you know who's really into that is tree people, like forests, guys who owns forests. They're like, dude, let's get a birthday tree thing rolling because every day there's billions of birthdays. Holy shit! Look at this cottage industry. I just put America to work. You know what? Let's seed the open plains and grow birthday trees for everyone who's born on every day of the fucking year. That's perfect. And then you'll have those year-round, they won't have to rent out a stereo store once a year for their fucking tree lot. No, a tree farm will exist for all sorts of birthday trees. God damn it, this is fantastic. Fuck a cake in the ass. I want a tree for my goddamn birthday. What, that threw you off there? This headset is fucked. God damn it, it's like I'm singing at the goddamn bottom of an ocean. I'm not singing. It's not my ears. Oh, damn it, folks. I'm sorry. Nothing's right. Nothing's right. Why would you're going to... Really? Is that helping the shaking of them? That's good.
Checking to see if my pins are disconnected or something.
I don't know. Well, because it periodically shows up and then it disappears. Folks, if you were me right now, you'd hate it. If you were me at all, you'd hate it, period. I mean, it's not like right now. Let's face it. You hating me is not time specific. If you were me, you would hate it at any time of the day or night. And speaking of, it's night now. Oh, I hate a night record. You know that. It's like 7 o'clock. This is all Breaking Bad. This is terrible. This is the show to go out on, though. Really, it should be. Wrap it all up after 3 years with this fucking terrible train wreck as I smash into a goddamn wall. It's too late. The headset doesn't work. I'm wishing happy birthday to people like I'm a goddamn MC in Peoria. Oh, take that. I never MC'd in Peoria. I would middle. And I talked about that on here. Yeah, I should go back to Peoria. They need to have me. No, they don't. They don't have. They started Bring Mike to Peoria page. Again, literally, and look in parentheses, again, because I think I played Peoria more than Chicago, for God's sakes. I used to play the jukebox all the time. They had like 4 different hotels. That's where I went. I broke my hand. I told you all that story. Look, folks, I've talked about Peoria. I've wrung it dry. There's no more moisture in the Peoria rag. Throw it away. So I have to rectify it wrong from last week. Speaking of tragedies, I was discussing last week that I did the HBO show. And I said my wife called me, and I broke the news to her, and she could not have really been less interested because she had dropped the pedometer. And I was so giddy about getting a television show, I didn't give a shit. I'm just like, oh, well, all right, who cares? We'll get a new one. We had hung up the phone, and, I was kind of disappointed. But now a week has passed, and I can't believe she lost my fucking pedometer. I'm serious. Now that I've had time to think about it, once the sheen of the television show and my re-entry into the world of show business is gone, now that I think about it, I cannot believe she lost my fucking pedometer. Are you shitting me? It was a brand new pedometer. It was the second time she had taken it out to the park, and she fucking loses it. Are you kidding me? Who does that? I'm infuriated. I can't... And I shouldn't be. I guess I shouldn't care. Who cares, right? But, I mean, I'm broke. She ain't working. I ain't working. I got this nonsense going on, certainly. I mean, nobody's giving me any, well, exactly. I have the Debbie Webb money rolling in. I got that coming in. But I think we all know that's only once a year. The Debbie Webb money only comes in once a goddamn year. Tweakedaudio.com/40 money. That money's rolling in constantly, folks. But Debbie Webb money, that's a one-time thing. But we're fucking broke. And this pedometer, all right, here, I need to give you the backstory on the pedometer, folks. Because God knows, that's going to be interesting. If someone ever said to you, anybody besides me in your life, literally, if anyone besides me in your life came to you and said, hey, I got to give you the backstory on this pedometer, how fast do you run? How fast do you run away from that guy? You're just like, no, I don't need a backstory on the fucking thing you use to measure your steps in a day. No, but I'll make it interesting and fun, right? That's why the Debbie Webbs of the world want me to have their money. That's exactly it. That's why I'm in line to get sponsored by people. Jesus, this headset is awful. If you could hear it, it's so fucking bad. I think I'm getting louder and louder to try to compensate, and it's going to come in the show that people are going to be like, why is he fucking screaming? Because I can't hear myself. He has inside voice, I saw. My producer she gave me the inside voice thing. She's just like, dude, what am I going to disturb the fucking rockheads who sleep in your hallways?
I can fix that. You won't be yelling.
That's Lily bunched up, folks. I couldn't do the show without her. You know that, right?
Here.
I couldn't. Here, exactly. Punch it, hit it, slap it, do something. Tickle it, lick it, do it. Yeah, that's nice. Rub it. All right. Wow, that's headphones we're talking about, folks. Jesus Christ. That'd be a good way to end year three. uh, all right. So, yeah, I couldn't do the show without her and all of her advice as she gives me the inside voice fucking hand.
Not what I
That's what
gave
you did. You went,
No,
that's
I
inside voice.
said this. I can take down in post.
What she did, all right, put your hand, folks, like it's a puppet and like talk, blah, 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 blah. And then, but have the puppet with his mouth open and then go, that's what she did to me. That's inside voice. That's what you do to a little kid. That's almost like a
Not what I
zip it,
meant.
zip it.
You have issues from childhood because that's not
Yeah,
what I
really?
meant.
Wait, hold on a second. Third,
Sorry.
you show 52 in year three, and you've just put your fucking finger on that? She's like, you got issues from childhood. Really? I know you don't listen to the show ever. You have to sit through it. You don't really listen so much as you endure the show. I get that. But holy God, you just found out now I've got issues from childhood? Crazy. All right, so I can't believe she fucking lost. Here's the backstory. So again, here's the backstory in the pedometer. A sentence that would send anybody else fleeing in terror, but for me, you stick around because you're like, that's going to be a great story. And it's not. I'm building this way up. All right. I went during Christmas. I had to go buy some stuff at a sporting goods store. And when I was in line, I probably had about $145 worth of stuff. I had to get some clothes and workout stuff, whatever. And behind me, 2 spaces in line, there was a woman, and she saw my stuff. She walked up to Karen and I, and she said, hey, do you guys want this coupon? Because I can't use it. I said, why can't you use it? She goes, well, you got to buy $100 worth of stuff, and I'm not buying $100 worth of stuff, and it expires tomorrow. So, go ahead and use it now. I was like, that's crazy. You don't have to do that. She goes, no, please. I look at it. It was 25 bucks off. It's a pretty good coupon. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. And, all right, I didn't say that's awesome right away. Part of my head went, do I look like a needy fuck who needs $25? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That was the first thing that crossed my brain, where I'm just like, really? Do I look like, what do I look like? I can't afford all these fucking clothes? I wouldn't have come to the goddamn counter without it if I didn't think I could afford it. Just for a brief second. But then, the cool part of me took over and went, hey, yes, I don't know if you're aware of this, folks. There's a cool part of me. He's constantly lurking behind the dick who you fucking listen to every week. The cool part of me, who wishes he knew how to fix headphones. So yeah, so the cool part of me came out and accepted the coupon and smiled and I was touched, genuinely, like, because again, it's Christmas, there's a million people in the goddamn store, and she picked me. There was a million other people in line, she could have handed it to them, but for some reason, probably because we were the only other white people in the store, she gravitated to us and went, hey, we got to stick together, with a wink, and then held up her Confederate flag and gave me a coupon. Why do I make her a closet racist? She was just nice, saved me 25 bucks. She's nice. But it is true, we were the only white people in the store. And I actually questioned that when I got to the car. I go, the only reason she gave that is we were the only other white people. I don't, because she could have, there were a million other people you could have had. There's families with children. You could have handed that to them. Don't they want to save $25? Nope, fat white guy does. All right. So when I did it, I put up my stuff on the thing. They rang it up, and they put it all in the bag, and I gave them the coupon. And all right, so then here's where it gets tricky, folks. They ring me up, and they tell me the amount, and it's the same amount. There's nothing. They didn't take the $25 off. I go, well, I gave you the coupon. She goes, yeah, the way that works is we ring it in to your receipt, and you need to come back and purchase $25 worth of stuff in the next 2 weeks to get that deal. So it's like a Groupon, but a physical Groupon. So now you got to come back in and buy, $50 worth of stuff, and they'll give you 25 off. That kind of deal. And which pissed me off, quite frankly. And now it made me wonder if there was a plot with the woman behind me that she didn't want to go through the fucking coupon dance. Because nobody wants to go through the coupon dance. I'm a grown man, for God's sakes. Mex does that. Mex won't use coupons. He refuses. Absolutely fucking refuses. I go to his house, and whenever I go to his house, I go, well, let's go to the store, because I got to get a bunch of Propel and shit to drink in his house. And if you go to the grocery store, you have that little card that saves you money, like the Ralph's card or whatever. So the stores are Jewel and Dominic's. So whenever I come to town, I'm like, I never have them. And they're ball busters in Illinois, where they'll go, well, if you don't have a card, you got to pay full price. It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Fixed it. All right. And now gone. That fixed the headset, and then they disappeared. This sucks. We got to buy new headsets now? Well, no, we don't, because you're for not doing one. All right. No, man, the headset, I always said, didn't I always say, I will do this show until the headsets run out. As long as the headsets hold out, I will do this show. But after that, done. I can't do it. As much Debbie Webb money as I have to spend these days with her 44th birthday on April 3rd, unfortunately, it's earmarked for other things, like rent. So Max refuses to use coupons. So his wife will always put out like the things, and he's like, if you need those are right there. And he will sit with his wife, like they'll go to a drive-through, and she'll count out the exact change. He did this to her one time. He's at Dunkin' Donuts, all right, to get coffee and donuts, and because he gets a coffee every night. And he's there, and he's got a change bin next to him. He's never touched it in the time I've known him. I've never. It's just this mountain of change that he's never taken anything out of. He pays with folding money. That's who he is. So he's with his wife in the car, and she starts counting out the exact change, and the guy says, all right, it's $1.78, and he hands the guy $2, and his wife gives him like 78 cents, and she goes, here's the exact change. He says, thanks. He throws it out the window. I don't have time for your nickel and dime bullshit. I got $2, and $2 is what I need. And then he'll get the other 22 cents, and it goes right into the pile of fucking change. The man does not use coins. I don't know. It's a cool way to be. That's the way I figured like Get Carter or James Bond would be. You think James Bond's got a pocket full of nickels? Fuck no. James Bond is cool. He's drinking martinis and spending $100 bills. He hasn't got any fucking... James Bond has never used a quarter in his life. He goes to a parking meter. He's like, fuck you. He shoots it. He's got a license to kill parking meters. Absolutely. But fucking James Bond and Mex. That's it. James Bond, Get Carter, and Mex. And Batman. Batman doesn't use change. He gets in a room for fucking change in the utility belt. God damn it. Batman doesn't give a shit about a ticket. Batman, Mex, and James Bond. They don't use coins, god damn it. Meanwhile, I open up my, console and moths fly out as I pick pennies out to fucking make Taco Bell money for my wife. God damn it. And she doesn't appreciate it. She just shattered my pedometer all over the goddamn place. I'm really yelling to compensate because I can't hear myself. Folks, I got to apologize. I'll scale it down. I throttle down. I go inside voice now. But boy, I can't hear myself. What are you doing? You're shaking my cord? Shake that cord. I don't know what it is. It's not the cord this time because usually that'll happen and we do a thing or we unplug or plug in and it fixes. But today, man, I wish you could hear it because it's bad. You folks can hear it. You can hear me yelling like a fucking jackass. All right. So my wife has to go back. And she goes to the store a couple weeks later. And I told her, I said, do me a favor, just get me a pair of sweats. Because I bought sweats for the winter. I explained this because it's cold. I said I would never wear sweatpants again in my life. But when I wake up in my house, it's freezing, so I have to throw something on. So I will never wear sweatpants out in anger. Actually, that's the only way I would wear them. Actually, I would wear sweatpants in anger. That's the only way I would wear them. So I told her, I said, just get me a pair of sweatpants and then look around for a pedometer, a good pedometer, because, we like to go walking and then we'll be able to measure our thing. Because this is when we were still involved in therapy and stuff like that when this was going on for something I haven't talked about, whatever. So I had a car accident, right? Did I tell you folks that? I think I might have mentioned it. So we were in therapy and we were going to start walking again after that. So I said, get a pedometer for when we can start walking. And I said, and she goes, well, what kind? And I said, get whatever the $25 will get. Get the best one you can get for $25. So my wife goes and she comes back and she gets a pedometer. It's in its plastic tomb. And it sits on my desk forever. And then my wife starts walking. She has made a friend in our building, the woman who manages the building. And she and Karen have hit it off. And now they've started to go to the gym together. They've started to go walking. They were walking through the park together. So Karen has downloaded several apps for her phone. So she uses them to keep track of her walking. Like, they give you the mile per hour and how many steps you take. It's basically a pedometer app. So she takes that out. And I said to her, I go, why are you bringing your iPhone to walk? She's like, well, I need to bring my phone anyway, just in case. I go, yeah, but you shouldn't be walking on the track with it. That's ridiculous. And it's just a park track, but still. I go, you're going to get mugged and some guy's going to steal your phone. She's like, nah, come on. So she brings that out there and she uses that app. So about a week ago, she decides that she wants to start using my pedometer. She's like, oh, why don't I just use the pedometer? That'd make it easier. I go, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and do that. And then the second day, she fucking loses it. Loses the goddamn... I've had this for 3 months in plastic, waiting for my fat ass to get off the couch and use it. It's just been sitting there on the desk. And I say to her, yeah, you and your friend, I don't want to say her name. How sad is it? How sad is this show that I don't ever want to say anybody's names? Except for Debbie Webb, of course. I say her name because she paid for the goddamn privilege. No, she didn't. Mike Webb did. But Mike Webb did it in lieu of having to buy her a gift. That's like going to the zoo and giving it like money to a monkey to like point at you. You know what I mean? It's just like that. I don't get it. I don't. Well, that's fine. If there's value in it, by all means, I'm glad. Although I feel like I should have a fucking red nose on. Doo, 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 doo. So my wife loses the pedometer. And like I said, it didn't matter to me at first because I had a television show. But then as time wore off, I was like, "Fuck, that thing was nice. It was like a new pedometer. God damn it." So she goes walking, and I don't bust her balls about it because we're at a situation now in our life where I can't bust her balls about anything because it turns into a huge fight. Because she's antsy. She's trying to find a job. She's got things going on, so she's on edge. So it doesn't matter what happens. Like if I'm just like, she'll cook something, and I'm like, oh, oh my God, what? And she stabs him with a steak knife. That's odd. That should never happen. Oh, I hate these earphones right now. I hate it. I can't hear myself. Folks, my ears are bad anyway, and then I need myself kind of booming and loud and with clarity in my head, and I just sound like I'm talking to a goddamn conch shell. It sounds like you should hear the ocean while I'm talking. Well, in Japan, you can. Take that, Milo and Otis. All right, so Karen loses the pedometer, but she's still going to walk. And I'm happy. She's got a friend, and she's walking and all that stuff. So I'm at my desk the other day. She's out walking. I'm coming home in the morning, and then I have to do stuff on the computer. Whatever. Nobody cares. I don't have internet at night, so I have to come in the morning and do stuff. And she comes home from walking. She's like, hey, and when she comes home, she plugs her phone in to charge, and she's walking around the house. I'm sitting there at my desk, and about 10 minutes goes by, and I was like, how was your walk? Oh, it was good. We had a good time. And I said, all right. But she's been walking outdoors. Like I said, she's been making noise about going back to the gym because we have a membership, but then she'd have to get her friend a guest pass. I don't know. So we talk a little bit about her walk. She said it went good. Everything's fine. It was a little wet, but she didn't have a problem. And I'm on the computer. I'm working, and I glance over, and her phone is charging. At least I think it's charging. It's hard for me to tell through the smashed iPod screen. And I mean smashed. Like, it looks like someone hit her iPhone with a hammer. And I look at it, and I fucking turn around. I go, what the fuck happened to your phone? She goes, oh, I was going to tell you about that. I dropped it while we were walking. What? She goes, yeah, I was checking, the miles, and I dropped it, and it fell face down on the ground, and it broke. I go, it didn't break. It's fucking destroyed. And she's like, yeah, well, she goes, don't worry, I fixed it. And I go, what do you mean you fixed it? And I look, and what she's done before she sat down, because she came in and she was futzing around at her desk, and I didn't know what she was doing. Before she went to charge her phone, she moved all of her icons to the top row and just made like 8 screens of top row icons. But you can't even slide your finger on the unlock at bottom because I got glass in my finger doing it's destroyed. It's broken. There's not a crack, folks. It looks like, again, someone smashed it with a hammer. It looks like it is like in the old days when a baseball would go through a window. That's what it looks like. It's destroyed. It's spidered all over. It's tiny pieces of glass. And she goes, I can still use it. I go, you can't fucking use that. Are you kidding me? And then I have to scale it back because it's not her fault she dropped the goddamn phone. I mean, I can't get mad about it, but I can be upset about the fact that it's going to be $500 to replace her goddamn phone. And my AT&T contract is coming up, so I'm like, well, you know what? We're not going to renew with them because I want to switch to Verizon because AT&T is fucking horrible. But I can't do that until her contract is up in December, whatever. But still, I'm sitting there looking at the phone, and I think I've talked about it on here before. My wife, she just jams her phone into her purse. Like, she doesn't even care about it, really. And I say to her, that's a $500 computer you have. That's not just a fucking phone. That's a computer. It's $500. But she just jams it into her purse, doesn't, with keys. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why? Just listen to me. And sure enough, she fucking drops it and smashes the shit out of it, destroys it. So I lost my mind a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm just like, why would you do this? Why? And she's like, well, I had to do it because, I have to bring it out there and keep track of it. She goes, and actually, I dropped it twice. With the first, and you dropped it twice? Do you think that's good news? Do you think telling me that you dropped it twice is going to alleviate this in some way? Like, phew, well, at least it's tough enough that it didn't break the first time. Look, I love my wife, all right? But you dropped it twice? You got to be fucking kidding me. The first time you drop it, you don't bury it in your pocket and not touch it until the end of the walk? What are you doing? I know exactly what she was doing. She was twittering or texting or reading while she was walking. I know it. And again, she's not my daughter. I can't fucking yell at her about this kind of shit. But still, I'm the one who's got to pay for the goddamn phone. We both do. We both have to pay but still. Oh, I shouldn't be mad, right? It happens. Accidents happen. You know, like the one that had happened 2 days prior when she lost my pedometer. Is she walking in a haunted park? What are you doing? What are you? Is she walking in a prison yard? Maybe she's in a prison yard. Maybe I don't know it. Maybe my wife goes and walks in a prison yard and like some thief stole her pedometer and someone tried to shiv her and she blocked it with her iPhone. Because wherever this park is, it certainly sounds as dangerous as any yard I've seen in a movie. Jesus Christ. I picture her doing laps and Andy Dufresne just dropping crumbs in the middle of the fucking thing and sashaying back to his cell. God damn it. Breaks the phone, loses the pedometer. Get out of the haunted park. Quit walking in the Bermuda Triangle. So we got to get her a new goddamn phone. We have to get her a new phone. First, I immediately call Apple Care because I have no idea what I have. I don't know if I have that because I'm pretty sure I bought Apple Care for the phones because I was like, well, these, shit happens to phones. So I called up and Apple gets on the phone and the guys, first of all, I had my first unsatisfactory customer service incident with Apple because it was a woman who did not speak English very well. It sounded like I got sent to a call center somewhere. And that doesn't make any sense. Normally, it's people up in Cupertino or whatever, and they take your call. But this woman didn't have a great grasp on English. And I was trying to explain to her what happened, and I gave her the numbers, the serial numbers and all that. And she's punching it in. She's like, oh, you're not covered. You're not covered. She's like, you know what? I can give you to a technical guy, and maybe he can answer your questions better. I'm like, all right, thanks, Manuel from Faulty Towers. And she transfers me over. And this guy is he's confident sounding. And by that, I mean he's speaking English. And he's willing to take so I explained to him, he goes, all right, what are these serial numbers? And I say to him, he goes, man, that's not what I have at all. So I give him my serial number. He goes, like, yeah, that's not even close. And I give him Karen's phone number. And he goes, nope. He goes, give me those numbers again. So he punches them in and he goes, oh yeah, what's your name? And I go, Mike Schmidt. He goes, okay, yeah, I had like some Carl Smith. Like, I don't even know who it was. And I'm like, yeah, well, again, you might want to talk to Manuel. So he goes ahead and figures it out. He goes, you know what? Yeah, you have Apple Care. You're covered. He goes, what happened? And I go, my wife dropped her phone. Because honestly, if I could have found a way to fudge it,
Yeah.
if there's anything I could have done to try and say, oh, well, I don't know what happened with your phone. It heated up and there was a tiny crack in it. I can't do that. It looks like I got raped. It couldn't be in worse shape if she had dropped it in a lake and fish fucked it. I mean, it's so bad. In fact, that might have been what happened. She might have dropped it in the park and a fucking squirrel ran up and just hammered his little squirrel cock into it until the fucking glass broke. It's destroyed. It's awfully destroyed. Awful and destroyed. I can't hear myself, and it drives me fucking crazy. You know how I feel like Pete Townsend when I saw The Who, and he wasn't hearing himself in the monitor, and he was so fucking mad, and he kept saying, hey, fucking fix it! Like he was like so pissed. That's what I feel like doing, because I can't hear myself in my headphones. And usually, folks, I keep myself cranked way up because I love me. And now I can't hear me, so I'm too loud to overcompensate, and you're fucking paying the price. I wish it would have been a better birthday for Debbie Webb. All right. I could give her the gift of my inside voice. I should do that. Because it's, you know what? It's more than Mike Webb got her. Happy 44th. Remember when I had that idiot say your name a few times? My buddy Mike Siegel does a bit about when you can buy a star and name it after somebody. It's just like the worst fucking gift. Nope. I got it topped, Mike. Happy birthday via low-rated podcast. Good for you, Mike Webb. All right. So he tells me, I had to tell him, I go, man, my wife dropped the phone. I can't even make a joke. It's destroyed. The screen is smashed. He goes, yeah, that's not covered. And he goes, so you'll need to go in. It's going to be, he goes, you can mail it in and we can repair it. He goes, if there's not an Apple store near you. I go, no, there's one like 2 miles away. And he's like, all right, you want me to make an appointment? He said, yeah. I said, yeah. Uh, so he goes, go there in 2 hours, like 1:40. So I was like, all right, great. So I told Karen, I go, we're going to Apple Care. And got an appointment at the Genius Bar. The Genius Bar that I haven't been to since my iPod was run over. And I thought it was destroyed. And the guy went and took it off hold. So I picture them having just a photo of me that they laugh at in the back constantly. But now I can beat it. My wife dropped the phone twice while walking. All right, so we go to the Apple store. We're there waiting, and they call our name, and we get guy with crazy orange hair because the Apple store they're very free. They let you be yourself. So his name was Chris. Comes up and my wife shows him the phone, and he's just like, hee, yeah. I go, so what's the story? He goes, we can get you a new phone. He goes, let me check and see if you're ready for an upgrade. Let me see if you qualify. Nope, we did not. He goes, so we can repair it, and he goes, it'll be $100 for the repair. He goes, or you can just get a new phone, which is like, I think it was like $200 with a new plan or whatever, or $500, whatever. And he goes, or we can just put a sticker on it. And Karen goes, ooh, what is that? And he goes, well, we would just, you'd put a sticker, a clear piece of plastic over the face, so then you can still operate it, but you won't have to touch the broken glass. And I go, no, you're not putting a sticker on the phone. And he goes, well, it would be. And Karen goes, no, really, maybe that'll work. Maybe we can just do that. Just put the sticker on. And I go, no, you can't do that. You're not a hobo. You can have a broken phone walking around. I go, do you really want to walk around with a broken phone? She's like, well, no. And I go, look, no, dude, just fix it. Do whatever you got to do to it. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll take it back. It's going to be like $100, but I'll go in the back and I'll start repairing it. I said, great, thank you. So he goes in the back and he fixes it. And I'm talking to Karen, and I go, look around for a case, okay? Because she initially I bought her a case for Christmas last year, but it was just one of those rubber backs. It had it was a Paul Frank monkey one. That was awesome. But, it certainly wasn't to protect the phone when it was dropped from great heights, as my wife ran like Chariots of Fire style through the goddamn haunted park. I didn't know that her and Shag and Scoob were going to be chasing ghosts. Put your phone away. Honestly, when you see the zombies or a Wolfman or a Dracula, put the phone away. Don't try to get a quick photo of it. And then I see clips from the tsunami in Japan, and people are filming with their phones as the tsunami approaches. And the film survived. My wife can't take a lap without smashing the fucking thing. These people are being attacked by the earth. And yet they're able to post their fucking tapes on YouTube. My wife can't turn left without dropping the goddamn phone. And look, I love my wife, but Jesus, seriously? All right. So, so we're sitting there, and she goes to look for a case, and she grabs, another Apple employee, because they're nice. The people are awesome. I mean, again, the customer service is fantastic. How fantastic, you ask? Here's how fantastic. Chris comes out with the phone, brand new. I mean, it just looks good as new screen. And I said, do me a favor, Chris, can you help her find a case that will not... And he goes, oh, the problem is this is a 3G phone, and a lot of the cases now are for 4Gs. He goes, but I saved you $100 with the screen, so if you wanted to get a case that was worth $100, it would even out for you. Because the guy on the phone told me $200, and Chris told me $100. So I said, oh, well, okay. I go, but, if you could help her look. And Karen's like, well, I found this one. She's in her element shopping. And so Chris hands us the phone. Again, it's good as new. And he goes, all right, well, so I took care of that for you. And I go, well, you got to help her find a case because, if you save me $100, well, we can find a good case. And he goes, well, no, I didn't. There's no charge for the phone.
What?
I said, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, don't worry about it. He goes, we'll take care of it, and you guys are good customers, so that's how good the customer service at Apple is. they did not charge me for the broken phone. So that guy, when he said he saved me $100, he really saved me $200.
Yeah.
100 of which was promptly dropped on a case that my wife picked out for her phone that I did not want to get, but I also don't want to be back in there with a goddamn smashed iPhone. I just want to dip the fucking thing in paraffin and say, there you go. You got an iPhone candle. Deal with it. But yeah, she picked out like a Michael Kors, like a folded golden beaded, I don't know. I think it came with a hand job. I don't know. It was $100, $88, something. And then we walk out, and I feel like I have to. Again, my wife's not my daughter, but we have this weird disconnect now where I feel like that sometimes, and because I have to tell her about money, and I go, all right, look, you know that we spent $100 here that we didn't plan on spending, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, well that means you can't spend $100 somewhere else. That means this unforeseen circumstance takes the wind out of your $100 sales that you were going to do at Ross or wherever the hell you're going to go, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. She's never cool with that. I mean, she's cool with it. I gotta shut the fuck up. All right. But yeah, so it still cost me $100 that she dropped the goddamn phone. I got squirrel fucked. We had to fucking get a new screen. And look, when I say I had to pay $100, we had to pay $100. Okay, it's our money. There's no, it's not like I have this endless pool of cash and my wife is, a fucking Oliver with a bowl going, please, sir, I need some more. And I know it's not her because she would have dropped the fucking bowl. I love my wife. But, I mean, I can't be just throwing $100 around. Again, I can't. We need to get her a car. All right, we need to get my wife a car. Or I should say, we went and did my taxes. And I'm an LLC now, folks, as we all know. I'm the chief officer of Throat Punch Media LLC, and so doing taxes in LLC is different. There's the way I've always done it. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but it's made my life different. So I had a stripper coming over last year every few months, and she's helping compile my QuickBooks, and everything's fine. And I send it off to my guy, and he's like, this looks really good. And I said, fantastic. Let's make an appointment. We make an appointment. We go in there, and it turns out, guess what? I did everything fucking wrong, folks. I did everything wrong. Because I thought I could separate business from personal and all this different stuff. And he's like, no, you can't do that. And let me tell you, here's some backstory on my tax guy. Again, if anybody said that sentence, you run. But me, you stick around. Here's some backstory on my tax guy. He loves it. He has a pedometer. All right, so I think I've mentioned this before. My tax guy is an ogre. He's a brute. He's a New York guy, and he's very aggressive. Like, he's not Lou the bartender, but that's the only voice I can do for New York. But he's very deliberate, and he has a way of making you feel stupid, particularly when you already walk in feeling stupid, which I do everywhere I go. I don't know anything about taxes. I just want to pay them. I don't ever want to be in a hole. I know comedy guys who've had to declare bankruptcy. I know comedians who still they're getting extensions from 2008. I got no interest in that. I want to pay my taxes every year and be fucking done with it. So the last few years, I've gotten red, white, and blue fucked with a flagpole. An eagle flew out of my ass as I had to send, $4,000. 2 years ago, I had to send in like 21 grand. I mean, dudes, there's nothing worse. So I go in this year, and it's a crapshoot. I never know what the fuck's going to happen, particularly with the LLC. I don't know how it works, the rules, all these different things. So I walk in, and it turns out I did the sheet wrong. So he starts with his machinations of making me feel stupid, and I already feel stupid, and I know I'm wrong, so just tell me I'm wrong, and I'm fucking leaving. I'm leaving. I don't want to waste your time. We got to pay for your time. And so he starts with the teaching moment and telling me, no, you don't do that. This is what you're supposed to do. You don't understand it. And I look at Karen, I go, let's go. And he's talking, and Karen goes, no, it's okay. I go, Karen, we need to leave. Just let's leave. I said, we'll do it again, and we'll remail it to you. We'll start from scratch. He's like, well, no, if you just listen to me, here's what I say. And Karen starts talking to him, and I go, Karen, hun, don't talk to him. Talk to me. We're leaving. We're leaving. We just got to go. Because if we didn't leave, I was going to come over the desk at this fucking guy. Because I'm embarrassed, okay? I feel stupid that I did it wrong. Just tell me it's incorrect and I need to go from scratch, okay? That's all you got to do. Don't start fucking hand-holding me and tell me this is. And he actually did this. He held up my tax return. He goes, so you're telling me this is no good. I go, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I wrote you in an email and you said one thing and I did it. He goes, that's not what I meant. I go, but that's what I meant. And he goes, well, that's not, you didn't make it clear. He goes, I need these numbers. This is what I need. And he takes my tax return out and he rips it. He ripped the fucking, he goes, this is garbage. And he ripped it and he goes, these numbers, I need them to match. And I go, let's get out of here now. And Karen's just like, it's okay. And I go, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Once he threw my tax return on the floor and ripped the part off to show me, I walked out. Because I was going to sweep his fucking desk. I mean, I was so fucking angry. And the thing is, when we first started going to him, it was very much soup Nazi. He's the tax Nazi. We always call him that. Karen and I always joke around it because we walk in really timid and we thrust our forms out and he goes through it. He makes fun of us and he yells at us, but we just want to get the taxes done and I don't know, and that's fine. What?
Why are you going back to him?
Because he does a great job with our taxes. I mean, everything's fine. And as far as I know, and I don't want to find a new guy who could be worse. I don't know how tax guys are because I'm not a grown-up.
He meets you once a year.
I'm not a grown-up. Exactly. I'll go back once a year. Hey, look, if all I got to do is walk into a door once a year, I'm fine with it. I fell down the stairs. I don't care. So, but that's fine. He always does a good job. Everything's fine. Everything's square. And I will tell you this: he first started out as he was scary as fuck. But then, as we got to know him over the years, everything was great. We would walk in, he'd go, "Okay, how are you?" Da da da. And he's still very matter of fact, but he didn't treat me like an asshole. This year, he treated me like an asshole to the point where, and I've been going, like I said, I've been going there now 12 years, and I wanted when Karen and I got in the car, I looked at her and I go, I wanted to say, hey. We're fucking paying you, right? I mean, I don't pay you to make me look like an asshole, dude. And Karen's like, I know, I'm sorry. I should have left when you said let's leave. Because she stayed behind and sorted out whatever she was going to sort out. And then we left. Did you hear that? I had a weird hiccup. Should we take it out?
No, we're leaving it in.
Leave it in, Jared.
Bonus year-end bonus.
Season end bonus. Series end. All right. So I lost my fucking mind. I was like crazy mad. And then we had to schedule an appointment to go back in a week later. And we came in Saturday. And when we walked in, he goes, there they are. Like he was real cheerful. And we sat down and guess what happened, folks? Here's what happened. I spoke and told him exactly what I thought I was doing and why I thought it might be wrong. And here I did this now. And here's what I did and what I thought. And he listened patiently and he went, no. I understand, and that explains a lot. Here's what you should have done. And he explained what I should have done without throwing my tax return on the floor or ripping it and showing me the numbers that I needed to match. We spoke like human beings. We spoke like grown men. And then he went through and we gave all the numbers and we talked about it while the basketball game was on. We talked a little basketball and everything was pleasant and everything was nice and everything got squared away and my taxes were done without incident. And then at the end, it turns out I'm getting money back. From one entity, I owe one entity. I owe state, or I owe federal, but I'm getting back some state, which is a new thing for me because I've owed over the past 3 years. I've owed both. So it was amazing. And then when I was leaving, I said to him, and I go, hey, I'm sorry about everything that happened the other day when I was in here. And even though I shouldn't have apologized, honestly, I felt I was in the right, but acted like a child. I should have just dealt with it then. And he looks at me and he goes, so am I. I should have taken the time to explain things better. And I said, great. Everything was fine. I walked out with my tax guy. Everything was fantastic. Well, thought about it. It's only been 12 years. I don't make that move till the 15th year. 15th year I make the move. I cannot hear myself in my earphones. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Maybe Mike Webb buys me some headphones. Hey, Mike Webb, it's Debbie Webb's 44th birthday. Happy birthday, Debbie Webb. Mike Webb, maybe you think about getting me some headphones for my 44th birthday. It's a good plan. You know where you can get them? tweakedaudio.com/40. Just go right there. Do they sell headphones that work with podcasting? I think they do. Sure, they sell headsets. They got sport watches. They've got all that stuff. tweakedaudio.com/40. And again, folks, if you buy anything from tweakedaudio.com/40, it benefits all podcasters. It does. You can say that it doesn't, but trust me, it does. You know who gets money? Strong Bad. Strong Bad gets some money. I don't even know. Does he have a podcast anymore? I have no idea. Kevin Smith, he gets money because he needs it. So go to tweakedaudio.com/40 and me and Kevin Smith all get a piece. I say me and Kevin Smith all because the two of us are fat enough to be an all. We couldn't just be both of us get a piece, all of us. Because Kevin Smith and Kevin Smith, whenever he flies, he should bring me to sit next to him, and our fat would meld, and again I'm his traveling companion. He doesn't have to worry about it making anybody upset. Of course, then he's got to worry about I got to worry about who's next to me because I'm sure Kevin Smith would make me sit in the middle. Really, Kevin Smith? As much as I liked Clerks and Clerks 2, you're going to make me sit in the middle? You hump. Okay. So I got some money coming back, but it doesn't matter. Guess where it's going, folks? We got to buy my wife a car. And my wife is picking out cars. And all right, my wife's car was lost tragically in an incident that I don't know if I've told you folks about. But now we're looking for a car. So, all right, I love my wife. But I have to try to explain to her where we're at financially. Okay? You know what? All right, I'll tell you this. Let me tell you this first. I had a car accident, folks. I've alluded to it a few times. I've alluded to it, and I haven't been able to tell you about it, but I can tell you a little bit about it. Not that you're going to care. Again, this has been built way up. I'm still alive. How good is a car accident story if the guy lived through it? I got to be dead. If I'm dead, it's a good story. Nobody tells it. But still, if I'm alive, fuck, that's not a good story at all. All right, here's what happened. In September 29th, I did a podcast. Let's see which one it was. I don't even remember which one it was. Because this is important. It's very integral to the story. Because God knows I need to make this longer. Can we pull it up and find out which one it was that week? All right, hold on, folks. We're looking at podcasts. It was in October, September. There we go. It was, You Know You're Not in a Coffin, right? Okay. It was when I had seen the film Buried. So I had left high on my comedy, knowing full well that my capable producer, Lily Von Stopp, was going to put together a fantastic show. And usually what happens is I leave here, and I will either pick Karen up to go get some dinner, or I'll pick up some food on the way, and, it'll work out that way. Or I'll just call her, find out if she cooked anything, who knows. Like today, I said to her, I go, what's for dinner tonight? She's like, I'm cooking Cuba. I go, what the hell is Cuba? She goes, it's got everything you like in it. Whoa, wait a minute. I'm not your son. Okay? Tell me what's in the goddamn food. She goes, oh, it's in barley? She goes, it's got barley. You say you like barley and barley soup. I said, is Cuba a barley soup? No, you'll like it. It's got everything you like in it. It's got onions and garlic and barley. And that does not sound like a complete meal to me. But good for you. Make the Cuba. She goes, we used to eat it when we were kids. It's spelled Kuba. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like anything I would request. But fine. Take a shot at it. I look forward to visiting In-N-Out later. Because I'm fat. So she's cooking tonight, but sometimes she doesn't. So that night I called her. I'm like, what do you want to eat? She's like, well, why don't you just come get me and we'll figure it out? Which I got to be honest, I love my wife, but I hate that part of it. Because then we're driving, figuring out where to go eat. Because I don't want it. Because, again, I told you, we've had this contest before where we're in the car like, oh, were you going to pick a place? And then when it's bad, ha-ha, your place sucked. So this time around, I'm like, let's figure out a place. She gets in the car, and we're like, hey, you know what? Let's go to Del Taco. We haven't been to Del Taco in a while. Let's go get some tacos at Del Taco. It's close by the house. And then we can come back and watch TV. Everything will be fine. Because I like to decompress after the show with my wife. So fine, we go to Del Taco. So we take my wife's car. We drive up. It might be 3 miles from my house. I don't know. Up Laurel Canyon. Get in the drive-thru, order some tacos. And everything's fine. It's uneventful. So we're right around Victory and Laurel Canyon. I live near there. Why am I telling people where I'm at? I live close by there. So we have to drive home from this Del Taco. We pull out, and I don't like eating in the car ever. I don't really like it. My wife will be like, give me some fries. I'm like, just drive. Because, again, I'm her father. And then I hold the bag open and she gets some fries and everybody's happy because I cannot tell my wife no ever. So, but this time I was starving because I hadn't eaten all day. So at Del Taco, they got these little tacos. They're like 40 cents and it's literally just like meat and lettuce on a tortilla and you can inhale them. I mean, you can eat the shit out of them. So I got like a bag of those and then we got some other food for Karen. So she pulls out, we're driving, and I eat a taco. And I'm like, do you want a taco? She's like, I don't want to eat. I want to eat when I get home. I said, all right. So we approach Oxnard and Laurel Canyon. And my wife's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. I will tell you this. I can tell you this now, folks. It's only 3 miles from the house. I'm not wearing a seatbelt. My wife is. She's belted in fine. So I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm kind of slumped down. I got a bag of tacos in my hand. And my wife's driving, and we come upon the light at Oxnard. Now we're driving up, and the light is green. We're not stopped. We're going about 35, 40 miles an hour. And we're going to go through the light because, again, it's green. It's not turning yellow. It's not red. It's perfectly green, so we can drive through. Well, on the opposite side, there are people who are going to turn left onto Oxnard. So we're approaching, and they're facing us, and they're going to turn left. So say we're going southbound, they're facing northbound, and they're going to turn left. Well, there's a guy right in the front. He's going to turn left, but he's stopped because he sees us coming through. And I should tell you, on the corners, there's a taco place, there's a 7-Eleven, there's on the right-hand side, on the passenger side by me, there's a gas station, and there's like a car dealership. So we start driving through. We drive through the light at Oxnard. I'm holding the tacos. Karen's driving. We're talking. And the guy who's going to turn left stays, but there's a guy behind him in the left-hand turn lane. And he turns over a double yellow line directly in front of our car. We're going 40 miles an hour. I'm not belted in. I'm holding tacos. We're driving. We go through the light, and it's this quick, folks. It is this quick. We are driving at full speed. We don't hit Karen never hit the brakes. She never even had time to hit the brakes. This other guy was going to turn left, and as we're going, this guy pulls out in an SUV, a Ford Explorer. He turns directly in front of us, to the point where I remember it vividly. If you've ever been in a car accident, and I've been in many, and I remember all of them, and I remember what happened in the seconds before they happened. I remember exactly what took place. And we were driving. I'm holding my tacos. I'm looking forward. She's driving. All of a sudden, black Explorer turns right in front of us, and I just go, "Hun?" That's all I said. And then smash. And you will always carry that noise in your head. If you've ever had a car accident, you will hear that noise for the rest of your life in your brain. When you think about it, I can close my eyes now and I can see it completely happening. Hun, and we just smashed him. And it was this thing where I didn't know what was going on. I got smashed, and I got thrown around, and Karen didn't say anything. I just heard breaking glass, and it seemed like there were a couple of impacts, I guess. I didn't know what was happening, and I blacked out. I went away. I hit my head or something. I don't know what happened, and I was out. Just for a second, probably 2 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. I woke up because I heard Karen screaming. She was in the driver's seat, and she's belted in, and she smells fire. So she's losing her mind screaming. And I'm still groggy. The airbags went off. And I've been in an accident before where my airbags went off. So I know that the smell of burning is the airbags. There could still be a fire. I don't know that for sure. But I know what she's smelling is the airbags. Because when they fucking deploy, it's this crazy smell, and they hit you in the face. It's really brutal. So I wake up, and when I open my eyes, I see we've jumped the curb. Okay, we were going. Like I said, we were going southbound. He's going northbound. He turns in front of us. We hit him, and then we spun off of him. And all right, I'll just tell you this: we hit him head on. We T-bone him, and when we hit him, our car fishtails and hits him again. Remember I said I heard multiple impacts? It's because we hit him head on, and then our car smashed in the side of him. And I will tell you this: when it hit side by side, the driver's side window and the back door driver's side window smashed, and all the glass came flying in on us. And then what we did was we kicked off of him, and the car seizes up. I guess in all new cars, everything seizes up completely. And we went over, and we wound up jumping the curb. And thank God, usually there are people parked on the street. We would have smashed right into those cars. But instead, we went over, we hit him twice, and then rolled over and jumped the curb, and we were up on the curb. So I wake up, and like I said, I see, my eyes come to, and I see the airbags. There's glass all over the place. I hear Karen screaming, and I say, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No," and she's crying, and she's screaming and crying. And look, let me just send this out to Mike and Debbie Webb. The last sound you ever want to hear is your wife screaming. I'll send it out to everybody. Unless you have a kid, all right. I would imagine if you were to see your child cry has to be the worst kind of pain. I can't even imagine it. But I don't have any kids, so fuck them. But but I do have a wife, and she is everything. She's all I have. So to hear her screaming, I turn around, and my first instinct is, well, I got to save her. So not even thinking about myself or what position I'm in or what condition I'm in, I go to open my door and it won't open. For some reason, my door. So I fucking just kick it open. I was going to kick the window, but I said, well, just I pulled the handle and I bashed it with my shoulder, and then I turned around and I mule kicked the door and opened it. And I hop out of the car, crowd gathering, Karen screaming, and I'm trying to find my phone. Like, I don't even know where it is. Like, everything is just, we've fallen apart. And I come around the driver's side, and there's people tending to Karen. There are, like, people trying to calm her down. And they're like, are you okay? She's like, I can't move. I can't move. I can't move. And she's like, there's a fire. There's a fire. And I look, and there's dripping. There's liquid all over the place. But I don't think it's gas. I think it's just the radiator, because I look at our car. It's fucking destroyed. Our car's an accordion. The front is smashed. The hood is cranked up, and the windows are smashed in. So I try to lean in, and I'm like, Karen, you got to calm down. You got to calm down. She's like, Michael, I can't feel. I can't. I'm screaming. She's screaming and screaming, and I can't calm her down. And I'm like, we got to call an ambulance. And a guy goes, well, I already called. I called the cops, and I called an ambulance here. And he hands me a phone. So I take the phone. And I go, hello? And he goes, it's the police. You're on hold. And then he starts to help Karen. So I'm talking into the phone, and they're like, where are you? I said, I'm at Oxnard and Laurel Canyon. And they go, and who are you? And I said, well, I was in the accident. She goes, was there anybody hurt? I go, yeah. I go, it's a mess here. You got to get here. And then it dawns on me, why the fuck am I on the phone? This guy's like, he's comforting my wife while he handed me the fucking phone. Fuck you, witness. You talk to the goddamn cops. So I literally reach in and I grab him by the shoulder. I go, hold on. And I grab him by the shoulder and I just jam the phone into his chest. I go, I'll take care of my wife. You talk on the goddamn phone. Because, again, I'm not thinking straight, folks. I'm a little out of it at this point. So I lean in and I'm holding Karen's hand and I'm like, are you okay? Because the last thing I need is for her to expire while I'm talking on the fucking phone. I don't know how serious this is. So we can't get her out of the car because the seatbelts have locked. The only reason I'm out is because I wasn't belted in. And I will tell you this, I'm a sneaky cock. I immediately went around, I was comforting Karen, but I also checked my belt to see if I could pull my belt out to lock it, to make it look like, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. I still had presence of mind to cheat. Because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. But I'm still trying to help Karen, and then there's other people gathering around. There's a big crowd, and the other driver walks over. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see you guys. I'm so sorry. I go, dude, you turned over a double yellow line directly fucking in front of us? He goes, I was going to the gas station. I didn't even see you guys coming. I didn't even see you coming. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But he's fine. Like, he's got, again, he's got a Ford Explorer that we fucked up the front tire. We broke the axle probably. It's all smashed, but he's fine. He's, what did he get, a bump? My wife's freaking out. I'm just like, dude, just get the fuck away from me. So I'm trying to help Karen. I hear sirens. And weirdly, the cops and the ambulance and the tow truck all show up at the same time. And the tow truck guy gets out. He starts sweeping up all the glass, and the ambulance comes, and they're trying to calm Karen down. And they're gonna have to cut her out of the car. They tell her, because the seatbelts are locked, so they got to do it. And she's like, I can't move. Don't move me. And she's in pain. She's screaming, and people are coming and talking to me. They're like, dude, that guy just turned right in front of you. I'm like, yeah, I know. And they go, this guy's like, well, if you need a witness, I'm an EMT and I saw it. And I go, great, I need your name. I'm collecting names and all this stuff. And I'm still with Karen, and the ambulance guys are like, dude, get the fuck away. We'll take care of her. They're not saying get the fuck away, but I will be honest, they were pretty stern with me. And I was a little disappointed. I'm like, because I didn't realize till later, I'm covered in blood. Like my hair and my head, I have blood all over me. Don't they realize I was in the fucking accident too? Does anybody care how I am? I understand squeaky wheel gets the grease, but hey, what about bloody shambles who's coming up and trying to ask for help? So they're helping Karen. They're trying to get her out of the car and stabilize her. They put a neck brace on her, and they do all that. And I hear the cops are taking stories from people. They're talking, and people are like, oh, my gosh, it was unbelievable, da-da-da, and this guy turned right in front of her. And then I hear a guy walk up, and he walks from the gas station. He walks up. He goes, that's not how it went. He goes, she didn't have her lights on. There's no way he could have seen her. And I hear him say that, and I kind of look over, and everybody else is like, well, I didn't notice that. He goes, I saw it clear as day. I was gassing my car up. She definitely didn't have her lights on. So I'm taking care of my wife, and I'm taking care of the paramedic, but the last thing I need is some idiot queering the deal here and acting like we were at fault. So What do you do when you're covered in blood and glass, folks? You start a fight with a guy on the street. I walk over and I go, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean we didn't have our lights on? He goes, look, your lights aren't even on now. I go, the whole fucking car is shut down. We just got fucking smashed. Are you? And the cop's like, calm down. I go, no, I'm not going to have him come over and say we were at fault. How about, you got 10 people who saw it happen. He's gassing his car up. How can he see our lights? It happened like that. Is he watching us come down the street and going, boy, I don't know. And he's like, calm down, dude. Calm down. The cop's trying to calm me down. Karen is screaming. Now I'm louder than Karen. I'm fucking screaming like an idiot because because I knew enough to realize that there was going to be trouble. I knew there was going to be lawyers and there was going to be police reports. And the last thing I fucking needed was someone to say, oh, well, cat's game. Someone says it's your fault. Someone says it's his fault. So who knows? No, that's not. My wife is getting taken out on a goddamn stretcher. I need to know who's at fucking fault here. So they stabilize Karen. They finally get her out of the car. The tow truck guy is sweeping up. He's doing his business. And they put Karen in the ambulance. And she's like, Michael, will you ride with me, Michael? And I go, no, I have to make sure with the car. I go, hon, I'll be there. And they asked me what hospital she should go to. And it's who knows? Who knows what hospital someone should go to? I only know because when Karen had cancer, she went to a local hospital. So they gave me the choice of 2 hospitals, and they might as well have said, do you want her to go to her hospital, or do you want us to just roll her into a drainage ditch? So I'm like, of course, take her to that hospital. And they go, oh, okay, well, we just never know because the other one's closer. I don't give a fuck if it's closer. She's been in that other one a million times. You're going to wheel her in. They're going to go, hi, Karen. That's how long she's been there. Trust me, she smashed her finger in a goddamn closet door. Oh, no, that happens later. God damn it. So, sure enough, they take her, they put her in the ambulance, and it's so funny. They load her in and they hit the car. Fucking sirens, they drive off. Meanwhile, this guy is on the phone, and I guarantee this guy was on the phone when we hit him. I know he was. I mean, I can't prove it. What am I going to do? Subpoena his cell phone records? Who the fuck knows? That all comes later with a lawyer. I'll get into that. But the fucking ambulance takes Karen away, and I'm there, and the guy, tow truck driver, comes up, and he's like, all right, so where do you want me to tow the car? And I go, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm the tow truck guy. I got called here automatically. I go, how did you get called here automatically? He goes, well, you bought your car at Universal City Nissan, right? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, well, there's a thing in the car, especially with the hybrids, and it alerts us to come. And so we came here right when we heard of the accident. I go, I don't have OnStar. I don't have anything like that. He goes, no, but you have Bluetooth in the car, and it automatically tells them, and then they notify us. And I look right at him, and I go, dude, you're not pulling some shit on me here, right? I go, I think you can see I'm in no shape to be fucked with. My wife just got taken away screaming. I'm covered in blood. Tell me you're legit. He goes, I'm completely legit. This is absolutely completely legit. Universal City Nissan takes care of it. I just want to make sure where you get towed and just call, and your insurance company will take care of it in the morning. And he goes, we have a place that's very close, and it's part. What's your insurance? And I said, Geico. He goes, it works with Geico. It's very close. I can go ahead and take your car there. Just tell Geico that's where it is in the morning. I went, all right. I mean, if that's the case, do it. He's sweeping up. I got to tell the cops. I go, look, this guy turned right in front of us. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's what we're hearing. I go, well, so he's at fault, right? He goes, well, we're not allowed to say who's at fault. What does that mean? You're not allowed. He goes, no, it's just the determination will be made later. We'll fill out our report, and then you can go ahead and get it from us. And I go, all right, I guess. He goes, well, do me a favor. Come here. And the cop pulls me aside. He goes, it's pretty obvious what happened here. And I'm going to tell you that you're going to need to get a lawyer. I said, what does that mean? Does that mean I did something wrong? He goes, I can't say. He goes, but you know what? You didn't do anything wrong. You're going to need a lawyer, though, because you don't want to deal with his insurance company alone. That's all I can say. And I said, all right. So it was good to at least get that kind of sort of maybe assurance that everything was all right. So I'm talking to the cop, and all of a sudden I hear the sirens. And another ambulance pulls up, and I look over, and again, I'm still foggy. I mean, right now, what I hear through these headphones, that's what I'm hearing the whole time I'm at the accident scene, because I can just hear the smashing in my head, the screaming of my wife, and the sirens, and then fog. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I do know that this ambulance that just showed up, a guy hops out of the back, and I hear my wife screaming in the back, and I look in the window, and it's the ambulance with my wife that left 10 minutes ago to go to the hospital. And the paramedic hops out, walks over, and picks up a bag of paramedic tools that he had left behind.
Oh my Christ!
And hops back into the ambulance, and then they bang on, and they wheel around, and they drive back to the hospital. My wife was cargo. While they went ahead and the guy left a syringe behind and felt it was necessary to pick it up. And he's lucky I didn't. Again, I was not making 2 and 2 was 5 for me, because if I'd have known what the fuck he was doing, I might have hit the guy. I was fucking furious. They open the door. I hear my wife crying. I look in and I go, "Hun," and because again, that's all I call my wife when there's accidents. And this guy hopped out like a fucking little pixie, and he actually kind of laughed. He's like, "Ha ha ha!" Grabs his tools, throws them in the back, and drives off with my wife in pain in the back. And again, I wasn't processing it, so I didn't think about it till later. Meanwhile, this guy's going to tow the car, and it's ruined. I asked the tow truck guy, I go, seriously, are they going to fix this? He goes, dude, they're not going to fix this. There's no way. And he starts to put the car up in the lift, and he's got to sweep up all the glass, and I'm there for and I don't have any way home. I've got no ride. I did find my phone, and I called Lily, because that's the only person I can call. And I had to dig I should tell you this too, by the way. They're comforting my wife. My wife is screaming, and there's this glass all over the place in my hair, on my wife. She's yelling that witnesses are all around. And when I look in, there's just tacos all over the place. And in my head, I'm just like, really? I can't even get away from being a fat guy in a car accident? I mean, because it's this, I mean, it looks like Al-Qaeda blew up a Taco Bell. That's what the inside of my car looks like. My wife is screaming, and there's lettuce and meat all over the inside of the fucking car. It looks like my wife had eaten a Mexican meal, and then the alien had burst out of her stomach, bring it with it all the detritus of Del Taco. It's all over the fucking place. So I got to dig through fucking tortilla shells and a quesadilla to find the fucking phone. Which I do, and then I call Lily, and I don't even know what I said. I remember calling you and just like, there's an accident, Karen screaming, an ambulance. Like, I didn't know, and she's like, I'll come there wherever you need me to be. And I go, well, I think I need a ride, but I don't know. I'll call you if I do. Okay, bye. I hung up. I just wanted to talk to somebody who wasn't a cop or who wasn't trying to say that I had my goddamn lights out. So then I go to the tow truck guy, and he was really friendly. I mean, he could not have been nicer. And he's like, you know what, hang tight. He goes, do you want me to drive you to the hospital? I go, no, because then I've got no way home. I said, can you take me to my house? Because I said, I'm only a mile from my house. He goes, yeah. He goes, I can do that. He goes, let me sweep everything up. Let me get this cleared up. We'll get your car up on the lift, and I'll take you and drop you off. And I'm happy, that guy. I can't believe I have this service through Universal City Nissan. I mean, it seems like I never even asked for it, but to just have it out of the blue was so great because he calmed me down. He was really friendly. The cops gave me all the information I needed, and again, I'm still underwater, still concussed. I got blood all over my face, and nobody asked me how I was. I will say that. That kind of it pissed me off. I won't lie to you. Not a cop. Nobody said, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" They just because Karen was so bad that I'm ambulatory, so everybody just kind of moves on to her, and good for them. I'm happy they did it, but could somebody see if I'm okay? Could you do that, please? Because I'm a child. So tow truck guy finishes. He drives me to my house, gives me his card, and I give him a card. He finds out I'm a comic. He hears about the podcast, whatever the fuck. He could be listening now. I have no idea. So they drop me at my house, and I go in, and I throw some water in my face to try to clean the blood off of my eyes, and I go to my car. I drive to the hospital, and that was bad. I should not have driven anywhere because it was as if I were sitting on top of the car watching myself drive. Like, I can't even explain it. And I had a severe pain in my jaw. I knew that, and my neck was fucked. I just did not feel good, but I don't care. I got to get to the hospital and find out how my wife is. So I park the car. I walk in to the ER that I've been in so many times before. And I walk up to the window, and I'm like, hey, my wife is in here. They brought her in with an ambulance. And they go, well, where is she? And I go, I don't know. They brought her in with an ambulance. He goes, well, it's probably in urgent care. She's around the back. Just to have a seat. I go, okay. Could somebody take a look at me? And then she looked up from the keyboard for the first time and saw that I had blood all over my head. And she's like, oh, well, okay. What happened? And I said, I was in the same car accident my wife was in. I think I just mentioned her to you. She came in an ambulance. I don't know if you're playing Minesweeper or what the fuck, but could you fucking look at me and treat me like a human being for a second? One goddamn second. That's all I ask. which is not the best approach. She goes, it's okay, sir. Calm down. Calm down. Because they always want you to calm down after they've made you fucking mad. They always want you to calm down after they've basically done everything they could to make you feel like a piece of goddamn baloney standing there in front of them with their bulletproof plexiglass. Who the fuck's going to shoot the receptionist? Yeah, you know what? Me. Believe me, now I know why that glass is there, because I would have knocked her in the fucking head and said, hey, look. So she's like, all right, hold on, sit tight. Well, you fill out this form. I fill out this form. I can't even hold a pen. I can't even see straight. Fine. So I fill it out. I can't imagine what it looks like. It looks like a child's, it looks like one of those fucking child's dinners mats at Denny's. Like a kid's place mat. Just like drawing, like or dotted lines, and I'm connecting the dots, whatever. I don't know what I put on the sheet. All I did, let's put it this way. All they knew was I had insurance at the time, and that's all they fucking cared about. As long as I had insurance, they were going to see me. So I went and sat down, and thankfully they called me in fairly quickly. There are other people sitting around, like, covered in blankets and sniveling, whatever the fuck. They're all sick, but I got blood on me. Stand down. Guy brings me in, checks my blood pressure. My blood pressure is 160 over 112. And I go, dude, that's bad, right? And he goes, well, you've just been in a traumatic thing. You're probably, I heard you yelling out there, so I'm sure you're probably angry. I go, well, they won't let me see my wife. And he goes, well, this is just procedure. Don't worry. And this nurse calmed me down. He was really a nice guy, and he checked my blood pressure. He's like, relax. And he's like, are you okay? What's your pain? Like, they always give you that, what's your pain between 1 and 10? And, and I don't like to lie. Like, I'm not, I'm a guy who let's put it this way. I will soft sell everything. All right, just because I don't want to look like a pussy. I know that's stupid. I was in a car accident, but I had to tell him. I go, well, the pain in my jaws is 7, and the pain in my neck's an 8. And then I'm bleeding, from the head. He's like, all right, well, we'll take a look at you, relax, and he sent me out to the room, and I'm sitting out there waiting to be admitted, and as I'm out there, I can see Karen. I see her go through on a stretcher. So I walk back to the fucking window, and I'm like, look, they just took my wife on a stretcher. Can I go talk to her? Can I just go in and see her? And she's like, hold on, let me check. So they go in, and she goes in the back, and I'm waiting, and I can hear Karen moaning, and she's in pain. And I don't know what she's going through, but I want to be there for it. I don't know where she's heading. And finally the woman comes up. She's like, no, they're taking her for more x-rays. They have to go over an MRI, and da-da. I'm like, fuck, all right. And they go, relax. She's okay. We've got her. We're taking care of her. So they bring me in the back. Finally, they call me, and I go in this. And I got to tell you, I'm bloody, and I have fucking tacos on me. It's like I look fucking terrible. I look like Machete from the movie. Like I just went into a taco shop and just started wailing on everybody. So I sit in the back, and they go, hey, put this little smock on. So they make me change out of my clothes because they got to give me whatever tests. And I'm sitting in my room, and they wheel Karen in. After an hour, they wheel her into my room. And she's in a sling, and she's in a wheelchair. And she's so sad. She's making a little sad face. And I'm like, oh, man, did they say what's up? She's like, they don't know. It's just I can't move my arm. I can't move my shoulder. My neck is screwed up. And also she had the imprint of the seatbelt from her shoulder all the way down to her waist, like that really red, bright red. And you can see that every grain of the seatbelt is burned into her. And she's like, how are you? I said, I don't know. She goes, I hit a nurse. She whispers it to me, and I go, what? She leans forward and goes, I slapped a nurse. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, well, they wanted to test my blood pressure. They wanted to take that, and she insisted on doing it on the bad shoulder, like the shoulder. And I told her, I said, I can't move my arm. And she's like, look, ma'am, you have to move your arm. We need to get your blood pressure. And I said, I can't move my arm. She goes, well, I'm going to take blood from that arm. And Karen's like, don't touch my arm. Don't touch my arm again. And she said there were 3 nurses in there, and this one nurse was just really adamant. And then the nurse grabbed Karen's arm and said, ma'am, you need to calm down, and pulled Karen's arm that had just been in a car accident to straighten it out to take blood. And Karen, she was like, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't want to do it. But basically voluntarily, took her free hand and smacked this woman. Just slapped her hand, slapped her arm, and knocked the needle right out of her hand. Hit her. and screamed, "Don't touch me!" And she said that the nurse looked at her and said, "Ma'am, if you ever put your hands on me again, I'm going to have you." Like she started with "I'm going to call the police. There's police outside," and like started, and another nurse had to come in and go, "You need to leave," and tell that nurse to get out of the room. And Karen was sobbing. She's just sobbing because she's in so much pain. And these people just fucking forget why you're there. You know what I mean? But how can you forget? There's a person sobbing and screaming on a just because you can't see an injury doesn't mean she doesn't have an injury. Because my wife wasn't bleeding. She wasn't, but she came in a fucking ambulance. Isn't that enough? You want to see? Should I show you pictures of the fucking car that I took? The car's destroyed. So, but Karen hit a nurse. And she tells me that, and she just kind of starts, and I'm like, oh man. And she's like, ow, it hurt her to laugh, but it's still. And I couldn't even. I'm like, okay. And so now I can finally be injured because I know that Karen's not dead. So she comes in and she's like, I'm still in such pain and I can't move and I'm in the wheelchair. And I'm like, okay. And I kind of lean my head back on the fucking cot. I'm on the whatever it is, the emergency room bed. And Karen takes the phone, and I had taken pictures of her with her sling and her injuries, and she goes, well, I'm going to take pictures of you, and she took pictures of my knee was completely swollen because it had banged into the glove compartment, and then she took pictures of me, and I just kind of went away. Like I said, I was concussed, so I put my head back, and I'm like leaning there, just like I'm just letting her take pictures, like not even, I'm vegging out, and it's funny because she has the picture. She took the picture of me, and you can just see blood and like my hair, and I'm like, I honestly look like a retarded person. Like I'm like, I'm leaned back with my hand above my head, and she's taking photos of me, and every time I move, glass is falling out of my hair. I mean, it's like there's glass stuck in my scalp. I'm like, they had to come in and pick it out. Finally, a nurse comes in and she gives me, they test my blood pressure again. It's gone down, and they say they're going to give me an MRI on my head, so they got to drive me to another part of the hospital, and you're wearing the little gown, and they leave Karen back in the room, and it's just that thing. Now you're in the machine. You know what I mean? Now you've got to go here and get this done. Now they got to take blood. Now they got to look at this, and every time I move my head, glass is falling out of my hair. They had to pick glass out of my head. I didn't need stitches in my head, but it was just there was like a bunch of little cuts up there that were bleeding, and that's why it was happening because the glass had gone into my scalps. They had to actually take it out with like tweezer things. And I laid there. They got my MRI. We were in the hospital for, I don't know, 5 hours. And the nurse who hit Karen actually came in to help me at one point. And Karen apologized. She's like, look, I'm very sorry. She's like, that's okay. I'm really sorry too. It's just, we're under a lot of stress. And when she said that, and I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, right? Like, I was just, and Karen gripped my hand because she saw I was going to say something, because don't give me, you're under a lot of fucking stress. I'm sure you are, all right? But my wife almost died, so you can give her the benefit of the doubt. And the thing is, my wife also, she can't get blood pressure taken from one arm because when she had breast cancer, she had... so they can't, because she had her lymph nodes removed from that arm, so you never really get a good reading or whatever. So she has to have a certain arm, and they weren't going to do that arm, whatever. It was just a fucking circus. I just wanted to go home. I was so out of it. So we go out to the car, and this is after about 5 hours. Now it's 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And this whole ordeal, it was 10 o'clock when we had driven to the taco joint. So we've been out for 9 hours, 8 hours. And I start the car. She's like, are you okay to drive? I go, well, you can't drive. I go, I have to drive. There's still blood on my head. Like, they didn't clean me up. I can see it in the mirror. We start driving, and Karen goes, I am hungry. I said, yeah, me too. Del Taco is 24 hours. She goes, you're joking, right? I go, come on. Hair of the dog. I go, come on. We got to show that intersection who's boss. We got to prove to that corner that we'll always be over that corner. We're not haunted. We will go on Oxnard and Laurel Canyon whenever we fucking want to, goddammit. And what are the odds of it happening twice in a night? Seriously. And she goes, let's do it. So I did. I drove, and we drove. But she goes, I want to see anyway. She goes, I don't know what happened. And I go, oh, my God, there's glass. It's destroyed. Everything's all over the place. So we went to that street corner, and we went back to Laurel Canyon and Oxnard, and we got out. We, like, parked and looked, and we saw. She's like, oh, my God, because there's green antifreeze. Everything is all over the place and glass everywhere. And she's like, did we hit this phone? And I go, no, we stopped short of the phone booth. We jumped the curb, and she goes, well, what happened? And I told her the cops, and I said, the ambulance had to come. She goes, I remember that. She goes, they all of a sudden, they were there, and then we stopped, and I thought we were still at the hospital, and then they got out, and then they jumped back in, and we drove. She goes, I thought they were picking up like a hitchhiker. I was like, well, close enough. They almost had a hitchhiker, because when they opened the door and I saw you were still in the fucking ambulance, I almost hopped in and kicked the shit out of everybody. She's like, I can't believe they came back. Who took the car? I said, well, we have a deal with Universal City Nissan, and tow truck drivers are alerted for your Bluetooth, and they come and pick up the car. She said, that's unbelievable. I said, I had no idea. We got to read the fine print. I don't know what else. Maybe they buy us breakfast in the morning. I got no fucking clue. This is awesome. So she says, well, I got to be honest with you. And I said, what? She goes, I don't really want tacos. I said, come on. We got to complete it. We got to go to Del Taco and prove that we can beat this thing. She's like, I can't. Not at 6 a.m. I don't want tacos. I said, all right. Do you want to just go home? She's like, well, no. Can we go to Jack in the Box? I said, all right. So we went to Jack in the Box, which is a block away. And we went home, and we were just so wired. We couldn't sleep, even though she was in such pain. And we had to go to Walgreens then and fill the prescriptions. It's never over. Again, you're in the machine at that point. And now I'm trying to figure out, well, I've got his insurance company, and I've got mine we got to deal with. We got to notify, whatever the fuck. And then there's all of this shit's about to take place. But all I cared about, the bottom line on the whole thing, was that Karen was all right. That's all I cared about. I just wanted to make sure she was fine. Don't make a silly noise. Oh, sure, it's real nice. But, because how many times you've been in the car? How many times you've been at dinner? How many times you made a ride and everything's fine, and then all of a sudden a second later, you hear your wife screaming like you've never wanted to hear in your life, and you don't know how to deal with that, and you don't know what to do. So we went home. She ate her Jack in the Box. I wasn't hungry. I was fucking wired. And then I went and pick up her medicine, and they filled them, and I came home. I just wanted to fill her full of painkillers, quite frankly, because she was in so much pain. I'm like, all right, are your curly fries gone? Here's some Vicodin. Put it in your shake. And she was able, because she couldn't move. She needed, muscle relaxer and 2 different other medicines, and she took those. And I took her to bed, and I, laid her down, and she still had her sling on, and she went to sleep and fell asleep. And as I'm leaning over her, I just rubbed her hair until she went to sleep. And as I'm rubbing her hair, glass is falling out of my hair into her hair. So I got to pick it out, and I'm like, I got to get the fucking glass out of my head. And I let her go to sleep. I went, and then I started to call Geico, and I had to call whoever I had to call. I stayed up. And so I called the place in the morning where the car had been towed, because it was awesome that they had to deal with Geico. And I called the guy, and he's like, yeah, that car is here. I said, okay. I go, well, do I have to call Universal City Nissan to tell them that you guys, do I have to clear this with them that you have the car? He goes, no, just call your insurance company. He goes, why would you call Universal City Nissan? And I go, well, they were the ones who alerted you with the Bluetooth. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, no, our tow truck driver just put the car in last night, said you told him to bring it here. And I said, so you guys don't work with Universal City Nissan? He goes, no. He goes, we have your car, and it's, we're holding it. It's $175 a day. And just tell your insurance company, and then we'll store it here for them. And if they want to come and get it, they can come and get it. And it was a fucking scam. This guy looked me in the eyes, looked me in my blood-covered eyes, glass in my hair, wife screaming, and told me, no, man, he got Universal City Nissan off of the plate. On the back, we had that stupid fucking license plate holder. He got it off of there. He asked me who my insurance was. I think about it. It's so funny. This guy was Kaiser Soze, because all of a sudden I started looking back, and I'm like, wait a minute. How the fuck did he get all this information? Because he happened to be driving by. Because I couldn't understand why a tow truck was there it was immediately with the ambulance. He was happening by. He pulled over. That's how they work. They drive around and wait for an accident, or they see something, and they swoop in. He looked. He got the name off the plate. He asked me what my insurance company was, and I told him. And when I was looking for my phone, he said, "Do you have Bluetooth?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh yeah, we're alerted by the Bluetooth." He put it all together. This guy made a puzzle happen. And granted, I was not at my best, folks. All right, I got to be honest. I would have seen through this fucking scam if I was normal me, if I wasn't underwater me, who had blood and fucking glass in his head. I'm not the guy who's going to fall for this kind of shit. You can't pull the okey doke on Mike Schmidt all the fucking time. But when I'm concussed and my wife is screaming and I got to fucking dig through taco meat to find my phone, I'm not at my best. I'm not going to lie to you folks. So we call Geico, and they're like, "You got to get it out of there like immediately," because Geico, that's not an official Geico place, and so we have to call. And it turned into an. Look, I'm not going to go into that. That's, it's funny. This headset is busted, and I can't fucking hear myself. I'm saying that I can't do a year 4 because obviously the headset is busted, but fuck, I got to do year 4 just to tell the rest of the story, don't I? I mean, seriously, as much as I want to fucking throw in the towel and cash it, because I haven't even got, all I did was tell you about the accident. I didn't tell you about the fucking other bullshit that happened. The goddamn fucking doctors and therapy and lawyers and dentists and acupuncture and bullshit. Fuck, I got a couple of shows out of that, right? I can't just extend year 3. Because I've been in my head wondering whether to do a year 4. I'm like, I can't do it. And it's been, look, I have been thinking and thinking and thinking. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can do a year 4. I don't know if I can do it. And it's been, I'm not going to lie to you, it's been a journey where I've sat there in my head and gone, fuck, can I do this? And I guess there has to be a year 4, right? I would guess so. But I hung up the phone with the fucking tow truck guy, and I was so bummed, and I was mad. I wanted to be mad at him, and I was mad at Geico, and I was mad at this other fucking driver, and I was so furious. And I got up and I went into the bedroom, and I just saw the woman I love sleeping in pain, and you could see, even though she had painkillers in, and even though she was still finally asleep, you knew it still hurt. She was in pain in her dreams because that's how much pain she was in, and she laid there and she would flinch and she would move. And I couldn't get mad. I couldn't stay mad. I couldn't stay mad at the tow truck guy. I couldn't stay mad at Geico, the asshole who turned in front of me, because I was just fucking grateful. I was just, because I'll always hear that scream in my head, and I'll always hear the smashing of the car, but just to know that I'll always be able to go in and see my wife sleeping in bed and know that she's with me and that she made it through and everything's okay. I couldn't be mad because she was okay. She was alive and we were going to be fine, and that was the bottom line. As long as she was there, I knew everything was going to work out. And I knew that the most important thing in my life was still intact. And so there was no reason to be mad. You just move forward. You deal with the stuff that gets thrown at you and you move forward. And everything goes by so quickly and you don't stop and you don't think about it. But do me a favor. Just go in and watch your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband. Just watch them sleep, seriously, and think about what it would be like if they weren't around. And it will make you realize, you know what, I can't be mad about anything because the only person who cares about me, the only person that I care about more than myself is sitting right there, is sleeping, is laying right there, and will always be with me. And I can think of no better feeling than knowing that the person that you love and want to be with the rest of your life feels exactly the same way about you and is always going to be there. And there's really only one way to let them know how much you love them. And there's really only one way to let them know how important they are in your life. And that's to send some jackass some money so they mention that it's their birthday. So happy birthday, Debbie Webb. I'm sure you're not going to forget about the 44th anytime soon because I can't even imagine any gift more important, more tangible. He must really love you. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can follow me on Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. You can find me at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp, the producer, who I could not do this show without, at Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp or Twitter.com/MNTs. You can find her at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And our friend David Hernandez, who does all the music and all the important stuff for the show, all the talent, anything that involves talent, he does it. You can find him at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy on the sidebar under Mike Schmidt Incorporated. There's our friend David Hernandez. Go ahead and be friends with him on Facebook. And if you'd like to write Lily a personal note, and find out exactly what happened to the headphones when I wasn't here. If you can do that, send her a note just to find out what happened to these goddamn headphones. Please do so at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com / 40-year-old boy. Please buy all his stuff. I'm changing the game, boss.
I want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night. This is the second take of this, folks. I want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine at 10 o'clock p.m. That's where you will see magicians and jugglers and naked ladies with no boobs. Well, I mean, with boobs, but no nipples. That's what I meant to say. And I know the producer of that show, who's sitting here right now across from me, Lily Von Stupp. Hey, Lily.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Thank you so much for all you've done this year 3. And I'm sorry we have to let you go.
No kidding. Aw, that
Yeah.
makes me sad.
It makes us all sad. So you've got the show, the 3 clubs, Santa Monica and Vine. What's coming up this week?
Sean McMaster, who is an incredible magician, plays the Magic Castle.
I know
all
Sean
over the world.
McMaster.
Yeah, he's a magician.
I know him. I think he knows my brother.
He fun?
Because
Should I bring him up?
my brother, go ahead, I don't care. My brother's friends with a guy named Austin Brooks, who is also a magician type guy, and maybe Austin knows Sean. Maybe that's why I know the name. No, I know Sean. Here's why. He worked with me in Ventura at the comedy club at what used to be Hornblowers. He's good friends with Keith Dion, who used to run that club. Yeah, I know Sean. He's a good guy.
He is. He's awesome.
Yeah, I like Sean a lot. So he's playing at the show. That's good. Maybe I'll come by. That sounds fun.
And doing a couple things.
Sweet. And then dancers, ladies, anybody special from out of town?
Ton of them. Out of town this Monday? No.
So cool. Just all the hot local chicks.
All hot local boobs.
Beautiful.
Yes, amazing.
Is it a theme or just a regular show?
No theme.
Okay.
I am performing though.
Oh, you're dancing. Are you doing that new one you told me about?
Not yet.
All right. I know Lily's got a new routine that I'm excited to see. But it's not coming up this week. But this week will be a good one from you, obviously. Good. So, guys, 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. every Monday night. Go ahead and check it out. You can follow on Monday Night Teas, twitter.com/MNTees for all the information. Is there a Facebook page for it or anything?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
But,
okay.
You got to do a search for Monday Night Teas because it's a group, and they don't give you a group name.
This is far too much talking. I don't care. I was being nice.
Find me.
Yeah, go to Lily's page and find her, and she's got all the info up on there and stuff like that. As year 3 draws to a close, I want to thank tweakedaudio.com/40 for being part of the show and sponsoring. And let's hope. I kept everybody in the dark. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a year 4. I still don't know. I know. Oh, come on. I'm lying. I don't know. I keep deciding. You know what? You know when I don't want to do it? When I'm sitting here and looking at the blank wall of unfunny before I strap on the headset that doesn't goddamn work. But Bruce and everybody over there, it was really nice of them to come on board and offer to bring me on. And tweakedaudio.com/40, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. We appreciate it. I have to say a special thank you to a listener, and I'm going to use his full name because he didn't tell me whether I should or I shouldn't. A guy named Willie Bogue. Willie's in Portland. He's going to be coming to the One Man, but Willie sent me. Remember I talked about Prince and I went on and on about Prince and the halftime show? He sent me a DVD of the halftime show.
Wow.
A full DVD of Prince's halftime performance and the press conference where Prince announced it and acted like Prince to all of the reporters. It's fucking fantastic. So, Willie, thank you so much. What a great surprise to find that in my P.O. box. I was excited. If you guys want to send me anything, you got to write me and get my P.O. box, and I'll send it to you and let you know what's going on. Again, go to Facebook, and at Facebook you will find the Bring Mike Schmidt 2 pages. Minneapolis is in play. We're still trying to find a venue. Indianapolis has just started, also looking to try to get out there. Bring Mike Schmidt to Austin, I think, is maybe dead in the water right now, although I did hear from the guy from Austin, and he found some venues. So I need to start looking around and see if those people are still involved. So thank you so much for stepping up, Austin. And I think it was Steven is his name. And Bring Mike Schmidt to, where else is there? Kansas City is alive now. The Ozarks have shifted to Kansas City. Australia and Ireland still have that pipe dream that I'm ever going to come there. Please. The closest I'm getting to Ireland is I had corned beef and cabbage last week. Oh, and my wife made corned beef and cabbage, and she fucking put it in a crock pot and let it sit there. What happened to my wife? I love my wife, but why are you cooking it? She threw it in a crock pot and let it sit all day. And then she pulled it out. It tasted like an Irish shoe. Oh, Christ, was it terrible. It tasted like Michael Flatley had been dancing in it for 4 hours. But then the next day she chopped it up and made corned beef hash, and that was fucking awesome. So maybe I just got to sacrifice one night's dinner for one day's breakfast. That's how it works. So what was I talking about? All right, so yeah, go to the Bring Mike Schmidt 2 pages and sign up to bring me to your town, hopefully. But I will tell you this, the one-man show is coming to Portland, Oregon, as I've mentioned. Tickets are available at Brown Paper Tickets. The link is available on my page. We're doing okay for ticket sales. People are buying tickets, which is nice. And like I said, if you're going to buy tickets, buy them now. It's worth it. I'm funny. And it turns out I just bought my plane ticket. I'm serious. I got to convince somebody at the end of this show. So I just bought my plane ticket, and it turns out I'm not leaving till like 3 in the afternoon. So I got to kill hours in Portland. So I'm like, maybe I'll go to breakfast. And I threw it out there thinking people would be like, we'll all go to breakfast together. Like now we're the funny company. Like I don't like people, and yet I think that these people are all going to put me on their shoulders and carry me to breakfast. That's not fucking happening.
You should auction off breakfast with you.
Auction off? Yeah, that's what people want to do. They don't even want to pay for the show. But they want to pay to see me eat a biscuit? Fuck all that. Sure they do. All right. Well, if you do, folks, make an offer. I'm not doing anything that morning.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. They're going to take me to breakfast, some surly asshole. But auction, how much would you pay for breakfast with a cock? Jesus Christ. Well, that's what we do. Instead of bringing the one man, it's breakfast with a jagoff. They'll do that from city to city. I think that's the plan. If you guys want in, you're in. Soon as the offers get where I think they should be. I mean, I know they won't be Debbie Webb money, but still they'll be up there. But the one man's coming to Portland. Don't forget that the tickets are available at Brown Paper Tickets. Go ahead and purchase those anytime you want. That would be great, so I get an idea of who's going to be there and who's not. And if you want to donate to the show, you can go to themikeschmidtcomedy.com. themikeschmidtcomedy.com. You can go there. First of all, go to the Joe Business page, and available there are the Year 1 and Year 2 download sets. Go ahead and check those out. And also, if you want to get both, you can get the Super Angry Guy Gene Happy Good Time Yelling combo for the price of $40. The Zazzle store is still open. Go ahead and get a calendar. I know it's 3 months into the year, but it's all about the artwork anyway. Nobody gives a shit about dates. We got mugs, we got mouse pads, we got T-shirts. All that kind of stuff is there, so go ahead and check it out. The Hanjavika shirt. Be the first one to buy one. That would be fun. I don't even know it's still up in the store. It may have been stricken down. Someone may have seen it and taken it down. But if instead of buying tchotchkes or instead of buying download sets, you just want to download, you want to donate to the show, if you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, I can't talk because I can't hear myself in these fucking headphones. In the upper left-hand corner of each of them, you will find the donate icon, which is a little Schmitty with his little pocket pulled out. Go ahead and click on him, and you can donate to the show. And then you will be among the many people who have, like these people, Andrew I. donated to the show. This was Andrew I.'s 4th donation. Thank you so much, Andrew. Heidi M. That's our friend Heidi from Indianapolis. As we've known her from, she's known me since Never Not Funny. She's been a fan, which is nice. Heidi M. donated. Carl C. This was Carl's 2nd donation to the show. Thank you, Carl C. And then, what's this? A donation from Andrew I. His 5th donation. And I read these in order of received, so that'll tell you something. Andrew donated like within a couple days of one another. Good for him. Thank you, Andrew I. And Lisa P. This was her 3rd donation. Thank you so much, Lisa P. So that's Andrew I. with his 4th and 5th donations, Heidi M., Carl C. with his 2nd donation, and Lisa P. with her 3rd donation. If you want to get on the donation list, go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and click on the little donate guy that I told you all about, and I'm repeating myself now for no good reason. And year 3 draws to a close. And like we did last year, I will tell you there will be no show next week. No show like this, with me talking in circles and pinwheeling around and Lily pretending to enjoy it. None of that. No Lily snorts next week. None of that will be happening. But I'm going to tell you this, folks. All right. If you've never trusted me in the past, trust me now. You have to hear what we're going to put up next week. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. You like my show, and that's great. I enjoy my show. But, I always think that I wish I was better in certain areas. I wish there were things that I can do that I cannot do. But I am lucky enough to have friends who can do the things that I can't do. And the thing we're putting up next week, quite frankly, is cooler than anything I've done in any of the previous 3 years. In my opinion, you guys will go ahead and listen to it and go, that's cooler than anything you've done in the 44 years you've been alive. Why are you accepting the other 40 years? You're just judging on 3. But I'm serious. Mex, he came to me with an idea. And it was so funny. I'm torn. Here's how I'm torn, folks. I'm always torn between one of 2 approaches. One is to lie to you and tell you there's not going to be a year 4 and just then surprise you with it and have you go, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And then part of me wants to tell you everything. Okay. And it doesn't make sense to just lie to you and tell you there's not going to be a year 4, because then some of you might just go, it'll be like the end of the Truman Show when Truman reaches the wall and everybody goes, well, what else is on? And they turn the fucking channel. Well, if I tell you there's not going to be a year 4, then maybe you just go, well, fuck, unsubscribe to that asshole. He pissed me off. And then you just don't listen. I can't have that. So I need to tell you, yes, there's going to be a year 4. It did take me a while to decide. And when I was talking to Mex about it, he's like, I have an idea about that and about you deciding whether or not to do a year 4. I said, okay, what is it? And when he told me what it was, I went, oh my God, yes. And I'll talk more about it in a couple of weeks when we're back. But I will tell you that next week I'm not here, but in my place will be something that, quite frankly, is cooler than anything you've heard from me in the past, because I had as little to do with it as possible. As you know, I don't care for me and I don't care for my work. I truly don't care for what I bring to this show. I'm more interested in what Lily brings to the show and what David brings to the table. And I got to tell you, the two of them have really kind of outdone themselves. So next week is amazing. And I can't stress enough. I thank you so much for listening. And I often joke around and I say, look, I've got nothing else. I have nothing else to do. I have nothing else. But as much as you people write me and you tell me that you can't wait for Thursday and you can't wait for the show to come out, I can't fucking wait for Wednesday, because I cannot wait to do the show. And I might sit here and I might fucking exhale and I might stare at a wall and it might take me 2 hours to start. And it might make me drive Lily crazy as I stop and start and go, no, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say this. I want to say this instead of that. And make her put together a goddamn show. But Jesus, I wouldn't have it any other way. Really, this is the most freeing, the most amazing job I've had in, and I'm making air quotes, entertainment. All right, I've been a stand-up for 20 years, and I've never felt more like myself than I do when I do this show. And to be accepted by you people to be myself, Jesus Christ, that's fucking amazing. And the only thing better than that is what we have coming next week. I can't stress it enough. You guys got it next week. Just make sure you hang out. Whatever you're going to hear, you're going to hear, and you're going to fucking love it. I honestly, listening to it today, I was hearing it, and I was like, I just want to put that up instead of the show. Like, I just want to skip and pretend that I did hear something. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.